Welcome back to Morning Break. Our last guest of the day is local realtor Kayla Dalton. We are so excited to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
I think what's very interesting is that we are talking about housing market trends, and it is something that has been in the national news as well as local news, but we're going to keep things local. We're going to kind of talk about Reno specifically and kind of northern Nevada in general. Would you mind kind of just, I guess, setting the stage for us about the unique part of Reno and what makes it such a unique housing market?
Yeah, well, in our housing market, we're going to see volatility in both directions. So when things are good, we're going to see it extra good here, and when things get not so good, we're going to see it a little not so good here as compared to the rest of the country.
Okay, so we get to be right there in that pendulum swinging and stuff. Okay,
yes,
so that is the unique situation. What about the current market trends for Reno?
Yeah, so it's obviously the last 6 months have been quite a roller coaster for everybody, the economy and the housing market, also specifically. We've seen demand really soften here, and we've seen supply really kind of ramp up. So then you kind of have your traditional economic lesson there. So
Yep, supply and demand.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, and that applies to housing. And I know we have done lots of stories on our news channel specifically about the housing market. There's always seems to be new housing development, and that seems to be a good thing and stuff. So it's just kind of this back and forth, like, is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? And it's kind of hard to decide in one way or another because it's changing so quickly, right?
Exactly. Yeah, the last 6 months, it's just been a very fast shift. So we're all trying to kind of adjust to what's going on right now. And yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. So let's talk about it being kind of a little bit of a buyer's market, or not, maybe not a buyer's market, but buyers are having unique opportunities right now, despite the fact that demand is so high.
Yeah, well, demand's actually a lot lower than it has
really?
been.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the rising interest rates, we've seen a lot of buyers essentially get priced out of the market. For every 1% interest rate increase, we're seeing a 10% decrease in buying power. So that buyer that could afford that $500,000 house now could only afford $450,000 as these interest rates keep going up.
So if you are in the market for a new house, how do you go about finding something that you can afford?
Yeah, it's all about, pairing yourself with a good lender and a good agent that can structure the deal to work for you. You can structure your offer instead of just, asking for less on the price. You can ask for more incentives, so you can essentially buy down your interest rate to make that monthly payment more affordable for you.
So what you're saying is that even though it's kind of this crazy market right now, there are ways you can be creative in getting the house that you want.
Yes, it's truly an opportunity market for buyers right now.
Okay, so you mentioned that it helps to have a good agent knowing what they're doing and everything. How do you go about knowing that your agent knows what they're doing? Can you give us maybe some insight as to what questions should we be asking to know that we found the right person for us?
Sure. Being knowledgeable about what's going on in the market is, I think, number one, especially in a market that's changing as quickly as the one we're currently in. Every week is different from the week before, so just finding somebody that's truly in tune with what's going on, and then, an agent that knows kind of the certain situations and, what you can do to work with your loan and those kinds of things that you can, kind of work into an offer.
And then if we look at maybe the opportunities that people have to maybe start with new housing, right? That's also a very unique situation about here. It's great we are trying to build a lot more housing. However, we have a whole issue with the supply chain and stuff too. So what should people be thinking about when they're thinking about maybe looking at buying a new house or renovating their house?
Yeah, so it's just factoring cost number one right now. Obviously with inflation and supply chain, that's affecting the ability to build homes right now. And being able to renovate your home. So just saving money, which I think is kind of the theme of everything right now, is number one when you're looking at that new home.
Perfect. And then I got another question, because we talked about if you're looking to buy, but if you're looking to sell, I mean, how do you go about making sure that you're getting a good deal, selling it as quickly and in the time that you want it to, but not getting maybe like, selling too fast and not getting the right price?
Sure. And for sellers right now, I mean, there's three things. It's really patience, making sure you know what your bottom line is, and then being flexible with buyers, because buyers are, they want to negotiate right now. They want a deal. And, sellers obviously need to know what their kind of bottom line is, and then, being patient, because it's going to take a little bit longer for your house to sell in today's market as opposed to past.
Well, Kayla, I cannot thank you enough for being here, for kind of giving us this like insight into the market, because it is so interesting that it's constantly changing. I mean, I feel like being a news anchor, I'm reading a housing story every single day, and it's different one way or the other. So where can people go to get more information if they want to follow along with those housing trends?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of follow along on your, local realtor's social media page, kind of really staying in tune with local news. Those are kind of the best places to find out what's going on in your current market.
Perfect. Well, Kayla, we can't thank you enough for being here, for letting us in on the inside. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And all of this information is going to be on our website, colotv.com, as well as links to Kayla's social media and her website, so that if you are in the market for maybe a new house, you have a realtor that you can go ahead and call up. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this quick break.